the fact that you have a covenant prophet like Moses, who was the companion of the fourth covenant. He's the one who actually received the commandment to not make any images and to not make any statues. He is the same one whom we find later on being commanded to construct the Ark of the Covenant. And he's told explicitly to place on top of the ark the two statues of the cherubim or the angels. So that commandment would have come into contradiction with the orders or the commands of God to make the statues on there. Also, in the Hebrew Bible and in the Jewish narrations, you'll find that the description of the Temple of Solomon included both images of angels and animals that were on the wall that were there for decoration purposes, and also on the curtains that led to the holiest of holies. But also you had statues of these animals, lions and other creatures that were on the stairs that led up to the throne of Solomon. So clearly Solomon, who was a Jew, who abided by the fourth covenant, who kept the commandments of God, he did not understand this commandment that was given to Moses to mean that making art is totally forbidden. He didn't understand it in that way, but rather he understood it to be making images that are to be worshipped, like the Israelites did when they made the golden calf. Is that understood? Yes. Good. All right. So what do we have here now? We have here on the ceiling, if we could get just a few of the brothers to kind of lift this up and move it gently that way. This area, this room that we are in right now, we called it the Basilika of Imam Mahdi alayhi salam. This place actually has two names. One is the Basilica of Imam Mahdi, and the reason why we chose to use the word basilica is because a basilica is a Latin word which was used, it means basically the great hall or the holy hall. And this area was a hallway in this building that lies underneath the dome that is on the top of the building. And in ancient times, the basilicas were used as public meeting places where people would gather and they would discuss the affairs of the community, and they would also discuss religion or have spiritual lessons. Philosophers would give spiritual lessons, philosophy lessons to the chosen in these basilicas. So that's how it started off, and basilicas eventually became places of worship, special churches that were given special status by the Pope. But that's the origin of it. And because this is a hallway that we use in a European country to gather and that we learn and we talk and we discuss community affairs, one of the names that we've given it is the Basilica of Imam Mahdi. The second name that we have given this place is the Dome of Ahmad Masjid or Mosque. I don't like to use the word mosque because its origin came from when the Crusaders were wanting to mock the Muslims, and so they used to call them mosquitoes, and they used to call the place of worship for the Muslims that they referred to as mosquitoes as mosques. But rather, I call it a masjid because a masjid is a house of prostration. And because we believe that all of religion consists in us being in a state of prostration towards God through obedience to His vicegerent, this becomes a place of prostration, and it happens to have a great dome over the top of it, just like the Dome of the Rock. It's called the Dome of the Rock because there is a dome that is on top of the rock where the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ ascended to heaven. Well, this is the Dome of Ahmad in honor of Ahmad al-Hassan the Yamani Masjid, a place of prostration that we gather and we worship in. We have here at the top a depiction of the first covenant. And we have Imam Ali alayhi salam, and he's in the Garden of Eden, and it is a reference to what we discussed in the Goal of the Wise, chapter 1, where we go over this idea that God had 7 covenants with mankind. And Imam Ali alayhi salam is standing in front of the tree of the forbidden fruit from the story of Adam and Eve. The tree represents Fatima Zahra alayhi salam, and we have a depiction of Adam alayhi salam, and he is now kicked out of the Garden of Eden because of his transgression, and we have Eve being carried away by the devil, and Adam is in a state of regret and in a state of turmoil because of what he did. Eve becomes seduced by the devil, and she's impregnated by him, and this is because there's many Gnostic texts and many narrations that have mentioned that this is the truth, the reality of what happened, and that Iblis is actually the father of Cain. We have a depiction here of her being pregnant, and then we have a scene of Cain murdering Abel.